Hey guys, just want to do a vlog today. I just want to keep talking. I just want to talk about how I'm fucking up in other areas of my life, and it's something that really bothers me a lot because I'll put in effort, or I'll think I've been putting in effort, but in a way, I'm kind of you know fucking up without realizing it. I mean, that's the simplest way to put this. Is that I'm fucking up without realizing it. Maybe it's just bad habits that needs to be changed, and it's very frustrating because I'm into self help and all that stuff, but it doesn't seem like I'm actually applying it. And I think that's what Tyler is talking about, or they talk about that people post a lot of like motivational quotes, like you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do this, you should be motivated, but they never actually take any action towards getting there. And that's the part I'm fucking up on. So I think I think that even though I'm actively trying to better myself as a person, I really need to start writing down stuff that I need to do. I think that's the first thing I really need to do is writing down to-do list stuff that I need to do. The moment I could think of them, I need to write them down. Otherwise, I'll get caught up in the busy schedule of my life and I'll end up missing out on stuff that's really important and I just forgot to do it. And it's an honest mistake. It's probably a bad habit as well for not writing down the stuff you need to do. Because I know as you get busier, as you take on more responsibilities as you become an adult, it's no longer just about chasing girls, worrying about whether you get rejected or not, because that seems like a very fucking small circle of concern. I mean, you can tell the size of a man by the size of his problem, and the larger his problem, like, for example, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, I mean, rest in peace, long time ago, but still, I mean, those people, their concern is about how to benefit the world, how to, create something, invent something that will make the world a better place. And when you take away the self-concern and put your focus on how to give, or how to give your best to the world, that's what your energy should be on, and that's what they would say a man on his purpose. And I think that's very true because right now I'm like few months towards graduation, and today we had all these lectures on insurance, tax, accounting, opening your own business, how to do that, people to help you, and there are people to help you and stuff. But it's overwhelming because it's all new stuff. And it's all stuff you used to think that, your parents will take care of this, someone else will take care of that. You don't really have to worry about this. All you have to worry about is just do your stuff and let the rest of the stuff just kind of do their own thing in the background. Someone else will do that. But now it's kind of like you have to do all this stuff by yourself, and it's daunting because you've never done it before. And I have this habit of perfection, this habit of what if it doesn't go right, blah blah blah, what's my backup plan, what's my plan B, what's my plan C, what if this doesn't go right, what do I say, what do I do? And in the end I realized, it's probably one of my worst traits. I would say it's overthinking stuff, and that's why I did meditation in the first place. But sometimes these kind of thoughts loops still creep up on you. I mean, what I realized is that although meditation does help you kind of release stress, you still have to be able to tackle the problem head on as soon as they arise. You can't just kind of chill there and not do anything about it, because if you think about it, you're avoiding the problem rather than facing the problem, embrace it, and find a solution to it. But I sometimes go to both extremes, like not do anything, or I would do too much, overthink stuff, and when sometimes actually taking a step back is probably a better choice than doing things too eagerly and not planning it properly. And yeah, I think sometimes it's probably better to stop some of the stuff you're doing. Don't try to rush it, because either you're gonna fuck it up real fast, or you're gonna miss a lot of stuff that you should have picked up on along the way. And then another thing I also want to talk about is how people skip a step, or they take shortcuts when they're in trouble. And this is, I'll admit, it's probably one of my worst characteristic. I wouldn't say character, my worst habit I used to have, because we all have this in our life, especially when you're young and when you're being conditioned by your parents that if you get into trouble, they will punish you. So in order to not get into trouble, you will try to cover up your mistakes. You try to cover your ass. But that doesn't really work in an adult life. So what you have to realize is, when you make a mistake in real world, it's probably best to admit the mistakes and correct it as soon as you find it, and not really try to cover up your ass, because you might think you've been doing a good job covering the track, but what you don't realize is that you're building your life around this lie, and you're telling more lies to kind of cover up the small lies. And as you keep going, it becomes bigger and bigger until this bubble bursts, and you're more fucked than you begin with. So that's the little lesson I've learned throughout life about telling lies. And although sometimes it is easier to think that, I'll just tell this little lie, it will cover up my mistake, no one will ever find out. But what you don't realize is that the implication of that lie, many people don't see the downside or the risk they're taking by telling lies. They only see the benefit of covering up their mistakes, but they don't see the downside of, the mistakes. It's gonna keep branching out, and one thing lead to another. And that's what you see. That's what you always see on TV, to be honest. You always see little lies. You always see people fucking up real big time, especially with doctors and stuff. They will fuck up so big that they're just too scared to admit their own mistakes. And as they try to cover it up, they ended up. Some people end up killing. Some doctors end up killing people because they're just too afraid to admit their own mistakes. Whereas, people might lose trust. I think the most important thing that people worry about when they're telling lies is that they're afraid that people will judge them, people will lose trust in them, and they just don't want the bad emotion that comes with telling the truth. But what you don't realize is that, in the book Radical Honesty by Brad Branton, he talked about that if you tell the truth, the honest truth, it will help you in the long term. It won't really help you become a better person, but it will help you to function better, because now you're not burning all your thoughts, all your mental energy on keeping the lies alive, but instead you will focus your mental energy on how to do things right. So I highly recommend that book. It's amazing. You can just get an audiobook. I found that audiobook helps sometimes, but it just doesn't. I think it just takes some time for you to get used to, especially when you're not really a audible learner, that you can't really take things in by listening. I found that I had to focus really hard when I'm listening to audiobooks. But they're great. Feel free to try them out. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the take I have on lies. And I'll just give you another example on how lies could come back and bite you in the ass. I remember that last year I didn't really do that well in terms of my grades, and I've always been like a grade A student, getting A minus, A plus if I'm lucky. But last year my grade dropped like exponentially. I just don't know what the fuck happened. And I was afraid to tell that to my parents. And I always tell them that, it's good, it's just like before, don't worry about it. You saw my track record, there's nothing to worry about. But I didn't really straight up tell them that I got bad grades, but I really didn't tell them I got good grades as well. I just tell them to not worry about it, kind of brush them off. And guess what? Today I found out that I have to print out to get a formal copy of my transcript and to get them signed off and by a justice of peace or police officer or something. And there's a chance that my parents will look at the transcript along the way. And guess what? If I had told them the truth last year, I wouldn't be scared about ordering a transcript, and I wouldn't be worried about my parents seeing my transcript right now. So yeah, it doesn't matter how small the lie is, they will always sometimes come back to bite you like in the ass, to fuck you over. And yeah, I just feel like girls is probably the least of my problem right now, to be honest. I mean, I'm still gonna go out and talk to them. It's actually fun. Like it's actually become more fun and more like it's like an avenue where I could express myself and to kind of get away from work and all that. So yeah, that's it for kind of a little rant on telling the truth. Yeah, can't wait for tomorrow when I have to tell the truth to my patients about not very good news. But that's life. You just have to face them head on and be optimistic, be positive, or you're not gonna survive long in the life's challenge. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.